What's up, Sean?
Hey, Andreas, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Welcome to my channel, brother.
Ah, so good to be here.
It's great to have you.
I feel so at home. I could live
And
here.
you
I
should.
could live here.
Why don't you?
Maybe I will.
I can always take an extra payment for, towards the mortgage.
Oh, great.
Hey,
Speaking of payments.
speaking of payments, how about some great tips on how to increase your sales and even your tips as a performer?
I would be so interested in that kind of thing. Then maybe I could afford my own place to live.
Well,
You know?
I'll be very glad to help you out in both ways.
Oh, man.
One way is to mention your tip jar, but in a very polite way.
That's right.
I've heard many performers talk about their tip jar in a way that is kind of embarrassing and awkward,
Desperate.
desperate, and it almost makes you not want to actually tip.
Yeah. When
I've
you
been
feel
there.
forced to tip,
You won't.
you won't. You do a great job at this.
Well, thank you very much.
Let them know what you do.
Well, one of the ways which works very good for me, very, just good.
It's good.
Just good. You have to be very thankful to them. I mean,
Yeah,
I
of
am
course.
I am truly thankful that they want to show their appreciation with their money.
Right.
I mean, that's the best way they can show their appreciation.
I've seen
right?
some musicians get tipped and they don't even acknowledge the
I've seen
person
that-
tipping.
I've
It's
seen
like,
that so many times, and I understand you're good, and that's why they're giving you money. But
give them a nod.
something,
Come on, man. Let's-
at least eye contact for a sec,
Yeah.
just for 1 sec.
It's the least you could do. Is
No,
eye
but
contact.
I've seen it, especially street performers. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
They're like so used to doing it.
No, it's
There's a
nice.
point where they're like, I don't even care who's tipping. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna put a tip jar there,
Sure.
and I don't care if they tip me or not. But
Of course, yeah. Well, you've got a jar there, so obviously
you
care a little
obviously,
bit. Yeah.
if you care to put a jar there, you should
Lame.
be thankful. So I'm always thankful, but I say it in the microphone in a way that they feel good about it. I say like, oh, thank you so much. Or like, hey, thanks, in the microphone, right? So they hear it well, and the rest of the people hear like, who's he thanking?
What just happened?
Yeah, what is he? Who's he talking to? Why is he thanking someone? They look, and they immediately figure it out. Oh, that guy just gave him some. Oh,
And then maybe
Honey,
I want to
honey,
be thanked.
we should do that too.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
great.
Uh-huh.
Suddenly, you
Yeah.
have everybody acknowledging your tip jar, coming to tip you.
And then you have the elitism that people have working in your favor. Well, that man's tipping.
That's right.
I'm as successful as that person. I'll come tip myself.
That is hilarious because
Uh-huh.
it's very true.
It
it
is
is
kind
very
of-
true.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Here's another tip.
Another one.
Sometimes I start my tip jar with my own money.
Oh, always. You have to. Put a 5 in there.
It
at
may
least.
look like, oh, you're just trying to trick them to, well, maybe a little bit. In reality, what is happening is that you look at it and you feel good about it. You suddenly forget it was your own money. I mean, it sounds dumb, but it actually feels great. You put your money, then you forget about it, and you see you're doing well. Okay, think about this.
That's great.
What happens when you don't put anything and nobody has come to put anything on
Feel
it?
awful.
And then you're,
that's
like,
true.
playing,
You have an empty jar
and then you
an
look,
hour into it, and it's
It just
empty.
looks sad, not for,
Yeah.
just for the people, for yourself.
Sure.
So
yeah, it kind of does.
you are your biggest fan. Tip yourself.
You know what I love about your show is when you make up a backstory, a needy backstory.
That was my tip number 3.
But sorry, I didn't mean to step on
No,
you.
of course not.
But it's great because he'll be like, "Listen, I traveled all the way from Mexico and I have 14 children at home that desperately need to eat."
That is funny
Yeah.
because
because it's
number one,
obviously
because it's
a
not
joke.
exactly how I do it.
Well, sure.
That sounds a little desperate. I don't do it like that.
Well,
guys.
I think
But-
to make it an obvious, desperate joke.
Oh, I see what you mean.
know what I mean? Yeah.
I've done something similar, but actually I don't use that one
don't use
anymore.
that?
That's
Oh,
funny because
okay.
that's how long since he was on a live show.
It's been a while.
But what I do now, this is what I do now.
Yeah.
So I go like, "Excuse me, sir. Oh, thank you so much. You know, you don't realize actually all this money here." And by that time, everybody's desperate to know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And I said, "This is all gonna be donated at the end of the show.
Oh.
This is all going."
Oh, what a man! What a
And then I just the punchline to my wife.
oh, ka-ching!
Very, very like lame,
It's
simple.
It's a
But
classic gag.
but just the fact that you set it up for so long, that when you throw the punchline, that is it's just lame.
It's a bad joke. It gets laughs.
It's a bad joke. But because it's unexpected. That's the thing.
It alerts them.
Here's a tip that it's been working great for me lately.
Oh, let's hear it. I can't wait.
I say in the microphone suddenly like, what was that, sir? Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. I do have CDs. Nobody asked me anything.
Never. It was all a lie.
It was all a lie. When people see that it's obvious that nobody asked you, it gets funny. But that tip also works when somebody's being demanding, because you always will have the demanding, annoying person that goes like, play Freebird. Or they're just trying to call for attention. When they do that, I go like, oh, that's a great question, sir. I do have CDs right here.
Yeah,
You just turn something really annoying into something profitable.
Yep. The Freebird thing. Let me speak on this for a second.
Oh.
Learn Freebird, okay? And then be like, all right, listen, the Freebird man has spoken, so we're starting the pot. Once it gets to $40, I'll play Freebird. You know what I mean? And then, but when they tip you, they have to say this is for the Freebird fund, and then you hold Freebird ransom. You ransom it to the people.
Well, you know,
and then it's a bidding.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. You reminded me. Another musician in town told me that what he does.
Yeah.
He actually says, "Actually, I got tipped at $20 to not play it."
Yeah.
Can you?
Beat it.
Exactly, beat it.
The point is just be creative in whatever you're doing.
And be funny, you know?
Yeah, make it a joke.
Use comedy to your advantage.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that I don't agree with but happens sometimes. This happened to me. I was doing kind of like an event where I was doing it just to like help a buddy out. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a high-paying gig or anything. But he insisted that he passed a tip, like a hat around, which is kind of embarrassing for me. Like the passing is almost like at a church. A hat, yeah. You know what I mean? I was so like, listen, I didn't start.
It's a little embarrassing.
He started it, and I was like, guys, don't feel like you have to. You know what I mean? I didn't start it. He started it. I would never instigate something like that.
It's exactly how I think.
But I made a lot of money that night.
Like, it has to be done properly. Like if they're gonna do it, like I would never do it myself.
Sure.
Or tell like, can you do it? No. But if somebody offers it and it's a person you know that they're gonna do it in a very polite way, like, oh, here is for the band. If you're interested.
It works, and people put money in the hat. I'm just saying, it might not be a look you're interested in.
Well, especially because there are people who get embarrassed to walk to the...
Yeah, that's what I've learned. Is some people
they just don't want any kind of attention, and just the thought of having to walk in between everybody and be in the spotlight for 1 second while they...
Yeah.
There are people who would love to tip you, but they're shy.
To kind of drag that out, PayPal and Venmo is great. Because they can digitally tip you without having to come up and make
a lot of people don't carry cash.
Yeah,
they travel without cash.
And PayPal and Venmo is so easy to do because you just give them your name or your email, and then they just can.
I need to look into how to do that.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, it's super easy.
Because I have a Venmo account.
Put it.
But I've done it to pay friends and stuff like that. So
well, guess what? There's going to be a link in the description of this video where you can tip Andreas.
What?
Through that. Yeah, I've done that before.
Oh my gosh! I'll buy a new guitar.
There you go. This guy's got 14 kids back in Mexico.
I don't know where you heard this information.
It's a very reliable source.
But now you got me very worried.
There's blood tests and everything.
Now I wanna meet them all.
You probably shouldn't. The point is, have some kind of digital way to be tipped.
A lot of musicians some of them are with tips, and some other ones are like against it, like it's lowering yourself. But the thing is that, at least in this country, there's a big culture of tipping.
Yes.
Because people want to show their appreciation.
Yeah, they appreciate your
appreciation. The easiest way to do it is with money. You just take money.
Make it easy for them to do that.
Exactly.
So these are just some tips on how to do it without seeming desperate. Because you never want... That's just a bad
with
look.
Dignity. You gotta...
Dignity first.
Thank you for being in my channel, my brother. And from a different mother, very different.
Oh, I love it.
Very sweet mother. Oh, I like your mother.
You can come over to my channel and tip me too, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Tip everyone. Just throw that money around. Come on.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's make it rain. I'll make it rain right now.
I don't know if... Wow, actually. That's more than I was expecting. I feel so at home.
Let's disappear. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here, man.
Remember, you have to focus. Namaste.